So in this video, I'm going to go over some of the unique scoring settings and the adjustments you need to make in order to account for the scoring in your league. And we're going to start off with probably the most common one, which is PPR. So I'm going into this spreadsheet, the wide receiver spreadsheet, changing this to receptions. And this is where I'm going to put the receptions and adjust the scoring. So all I've done is added a new sheet right here. And I'm going to go to the ESPN website, or whatever your ranking is. You can go to Roto World. There's a ton of different places. Pick somewhere that there we go. And now you have the projections, and this will be the reception. And all you're going to do is go in here and transpose whatever the receptions are. 91 for him. That's Bryant. It's going to be 97. This is just an example. As you go, you can adjust if you think there's a bigger difference in what you're seeing. There's 0. And I'll show you how to do this in somewhat of an automated way. I'll learn a little bit, but I'll show you the sort of simple version and how this works. And I'll put in an assumption for Percy Harvin. Just as a quick heads up, so for people who buy this, I release updates periodically. And one of the things I don't want people to lose is the custom adjustments they've made to people's rankings, which is what's right here. So one of the things I do is I leave the names in order, and I lock those in essentially as soon as I create the spreadsheet. And if someone like Percy Harvin gets injured, rather than dropping them down, I just adjust this. And that will allow you to, as I make adjustments to the capabilities of the spreadsheet, you can just go in and whatever your adjustments are and paste your adjustments as is. And it will always update the spreadsheet, give you the latest features of the spreadsheet, but retaining your rankings. So that's why I do it this way, and why you'll see people like Percy Harvin, and you'll see Crabtree at points and some of my stuff. So just a heads up, that's how that works, and that's why that's there. So how this works is I have base projections, you have the adjustments right there, and this takes that. The only thing you're going to be doing here is adding in an extra feature, which is points per reception, to this adjusted, and everything else will flow through. So it's really simple. So I'm actually going to change the color of this to make it very clear. I'll change it to a no fill actually. And I'm going to say you get 1 point per reception. So all you're going to do is for adjusted, you add in the extra points of this times this. That's it. You're going to lock this in with F4. Can't do F4, so I set the dollar signs manually because the screen capture software needs to get some very shortcuts. And now it's adjusted Calvin Johnson's rankings, and you can see him jump up. So all you're going to do is go down and paste this now. Just paste the formulas. You can see that everyone increased by that 1 point per reception. So this will allow you to change it to 3.5 point PPR. You can do that. So all you're going to do is just, this is something that simple, and it's a pretty easy exercise in terms of doing that. It's a little time consuming adding all these people in, so let me give you a quick Excel tip on how you can do that. So one of the things I'm going to do, get rid of all these extraneous columns. Okay, so sorry. You need to, in order to do this, you highlight the whole column, press Alt-D-E, which is just going to be separating one column into multiple columns. You say delineated with a comma, and it's going to break those names up. Now I need these misaligned, so let's select the whole column, but you can let's move it down. And now you have names next to receptions. So all I'm going to do is say equals VLOOKUP. Look up this guy on this table. You need to lock it in. I can't lock it in right now because of how the screen capture software works. Sorry. Say column 2, false. And there, it pulled that in. Now I have to add these dollar signs in manually. And now I can just paste this down. It doesn't find Percy Harvin. So I'm gonna have to adjust his to 20 and fix it. I don't know why that aired out, but just adjust it, and that's how it works. So you'll do that. You'll paste in all the people you want. Get your receptions in here. Paste. One of the things I would do is I would take this, paste it over itself as values, so then it's locked in, and then go in here and make adjustments for what you think. Like, I don't think Des Bryant is going to get 97 receptions. I think he's going to get 90. So that means Brandon Marshall is now above him in the PPR league, and Brandon Marshall is above AJ Green. So this is really helpful in that sense, but let's say it goes back to a 0.5 point per reception league, then that order changes again. So that's how you would add in the PPR functionality, and that's largely how you would add in any functionality. You would essentially take projections. I use ESPN.com. I really like their site because they have sortable projections, and they project a lot of different things. And you would add those into whatever column you want. So what we're going to do now is the same thing for another common thing I've seen, which is QBs having 6 points per passing touchdown. So it's very simple. All I'm going to do is go to QB, and this is even easier because QBs are so common, or there's not that many of them, so really you're making adjustments to 27. At this point, I would just type it in, so you'd say extra TD points. And you're going to do largely the same thing. So I'm going to say, go to the top up here and say no fill. I'm going to say I get an extra 2 points for touchdowns because it's a 6 points for touchdowns. The baseline has 4 points in here for touchdowns, and the example I'm using is adjusting that to 6. So Aaron Rodgers gets 39 touchdowns. I can click on it. I can even go to his player card, see what he did last year. Let's do that and see what he got. We'll just put that in. Go to the stats. So last year, it's annoying. Last year he had 39 touchdowns. Year for that he had 45. So I'm gonna go in between. ESPN is only projecting 49. This is largely the stuff I do when I'm making my adjustments. I'm gonna say it's 41 touchdowns, and then I'll just use everyone else's standard. So Breeze is 40. Brady is 34. Brady 34. Manning is 38. Cam is 20. Matt Ryan is 33. Russell Wilson, 26. I'm kind of Colin Kaepernick, and then I'll move on. Colin Kaepernick, 20. Okay. One of the things you'll notice is stuff over here is changing a little bit. That's because I have a random factor in here. One of the issues is as you're making adjustments, people can have exactly the same points, which will really mess up the spreadsheet because how Excel works, you can't rank people if they have the exact same number of points. And if you have two people ranked with the exact same number of points, it'll completely throw off the value-based drafting. So I have a random number generator in here divided by 100, which basically adds a couple decimal points in the very, very end. So at the end of the day, it won't change the ranking. If someone was previously tied, now there'll be a 0.01 difference between them or whatever. So it's just a way to prevent the spreadsheet from breaking as people adjust it. So given that I have Aaron Rodgers' 41 touchdowns in here, all I'm going to do again is say the extra TDs right here times the number of points right here. I'm going to lock this in with dollar signs. Oops, wrong side. And then I'm going to paste this down. Cool. So you can see it adjusts. So I'm going to actually go ahead. So this is 12 positions deep. So I'm going to go through a few more just to try to get this. I'll do it quickly. I thought I was going to. So Robert Griffin is 23. Stafford is 28. Vic is 18. Andrew Luck is 26. Eli Manning, and I'm going to do one more after Eli, just so you can see how the values adjust. Tony Romo, 30. Okay, cool. So adjusted. Cool. So everyone's points should went up considerably. Yep. So what this has done is it's raised everyone's points, and one of the common things you'll hear when people ask professionals, who technically professionals who do this, is they'll say, rising tide floats all boats, but you can see that's clearly not true. Like Breeze and Brady are going to benefit from Rodgers and Breeze are going to benefit tremendously from the extra points. So right here we have this, 2 points. So I'm going to change this to 0, and we're going to return the rankings back to where they were. And you'll see Rodgers goes like this. So value-based drafting, given that, puts Aaron Rodgers only at 15. This is a little skewed, so I'm going to fix the wide receivers back to 0. So we have everyone in the playing field. So in a baseline, Aaron Rodgers, where is he? He's the 9th best player in terms of value-based drafting. He provides 93 extra points. This extra 2 points is going to be huge for someone who scores that many touchdowns. So now it's adjusted to everyone who's in the consideration set. Remember, I'm going to consider the top 12 positions, and the adjustments we made were more than 12 deep. So the fact that we didn't adjust Big Ben won't impact these rankings. So you see that moves Aaron Rodgers up to 4, because that makes him that much better than the next guy, because who's 12? Tony Romo, who's 12, only gets 30. So the difference between them is now 100 points almost. It's actually more than 100 points. Yeah, 119 points. So that's why that's there. And then if you get to some other things that are more complex, like you can show completion. Like, so say you get points per completion. You can do the same thing with this completion number. And the fact that Breeze gets this many more completions, it may make up some of that difference between the two of them. And now both of them are ranked really high. So this is a really huge advantage for you, particularly because no one else in your league is going to have this functionality. And they're just going to assume Aaron Rodgers is just as valuable as he was before. But the fact is he isn't. So as you make these unique adjustments, this is where the tool becomes really valuable, because it will allow you to correctly value those changes given value-based drafting. So it's really important to keep that in mind. Again, it's only as good as the inputs you feed it. So if you over-predict Aaron Rodgers' TDs, there's nothing this will do to prevent that. But at the end of the day, you'll be making decisions on a more educated baseline given what you believe will happen. And that's really all you can ask for in fantasy football, is having the perfect draft relative to what you believe. And if you're doing that, you can be a little bit off in your beliefs, but the fact that you're drafting so efficiently is going to make up a lot of the differences in the projections you may have. So even if you're off, the fact is you have to be really off to lose, because you're drafting so much more efficiently and smartly than everyone else. So, thanks for watching. I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to do keeper leagues, which is a little more complicated. So check out the next video.